Hello and welcome to GoldenNova's First Reacts, where I react first to all the things you want to see reacted to first, as long as I'm the first person to hit this desk before finishing this sentence. Yu-Gi-Oh! GX is getting a bit of love this time around. The Duel Academia Selection Pack just revealed a few cards that are coming out of it, and we finally got a reveal on this V-Jump promo for the Golden Egg Witch. So we're going to take a look at all of that stuff. I am so curious to see how they translate probably one of the most mimetic things outside of the two paths thing that shows up everywhere. Was that a GX thing? Anyway, this has got to be, if not a close second as far as the larger zeitgeist goes, for fans in the Yu-Gi-Oh! The Golden Egg Witch is a classic. Let's see what we've got here. Normal spell card, Drawbread. You can only activate one card with this card's name per turn. If you have a monster in your graveyard, you can pay 200 life points to draw a card and reveal it. And then if it's a monster, apply this effect based on its attribute. If it's a different attribute from the monsters that are in your graveyard, you draw a card. And if it's the same as a monster in your graveyard, you discard a card. Okay. So it's a Upstart Goblin. Well, not Upstart Goblin, because if you spend the card and then you draw, so that replaces itself, and then you discard, you're going -1 to try and dig deeper. But then if it's a different attribute, then you're going, then what, it's Pot of Greed? If that's the case? That seems like a pretty good representation of the Golden Egg Witch to me. It's not quite as 1 in a million chance, but it does help decks that play a lot of different attributes. Get this off early enough after you get the single monster. Oh, and I guess if it's not even a monster, you just kind of keep the card. You know, then it's an Upstart Goblin if it's not a monster that you draw. There's also the possibility of enabling discard stuff. I mean, discarding as an effect ain't bad. You know, I think Dark World are already spoiled for choice, so I don't think they need something like this exactly, but you could play this, and then the last thing that happens is the discard if you pull another Dark after you filled your graveyard with Dark monsters. So, fun little card to keep in mind. Don't think it's going to be doing anyone any big favors, but hopefully we get to see it a few times, because that'd be really funny. But let's move on from that and talk about the Academia Selection Pack. And we have a new Thunder Giant. It looks like we have one that has the signature attack Voltic Thunder, Elemental Hero Thunder Giant, level 6 Light Warrior Fusion Monster, 2400 attack, 1500 defense, requires any 2 Elemental Hero monsters with different attributes and must be fusion summoned. You can only use the first and second effect of this card's name once per turn. If this card is special summoned and your opponent controls more cards than you do, you can destroy all other cards on the field. Okay, you can tribute this card that was fusion summoned using a normal monster's material, then target 1 elemental hero monster in your graveyard and special summon it. Okay, that's just really cool. So what, you're going second, you make this, with almost any material, blow up the entire board, so that all's free, and then if you dump anything big in the graveyard you want to get back, you just tribute this and bring it back. If your deck is using like Neos or any of the other base forms, this is an easy include, I feel like, especially because many of them are so searchable because of Infernal Devicer. So this rules. Oh my god. I love this. Next up, Light Water Dragon. This is for Bastion. Sea Serpent, level 4 water, 1400 attack, 1300 defense. This card is always treated as Water Dragon. Oh, this card's name is always treated as Water Dragon. Ooh, is this one of those outside the game effects? If so, there might be a problem, but at the same time, I don't know if I'd want to play 3 original Water Dragons, because they're a bit of a doozy to get out. You can only use the effect of this card's name once per turn. You can banish this card that you control to special summon 3 level 5 or lower water and or wind dinosaur monsters from your deck in defense position, but their effects are negated. Also, you can't special summon from the extra deck for the rest of the turn except dinosaur and sea serpent monsters. Ooh, that's 2/3 of the bad dragon trio. That's kind of goofy. I suppose that's just there to assemble the Hydro and Oxy get-ons to get your bigger water dragon summons. That's kind of funky. That's a nice little enabler. And then lastly, Drill Armed Dragon. We're adding more to the Armed Dragon pool. It never ends. Level 3 Wind Dragon monster, 1100 attack, 400 defense. You can only use the first and second effect of this card's name each once per turn. First effect, you can send this card and one other wind monster from your hand to the graveyard. For the rest of this turn, all wind dragon monsters you control gain 300 attack, and you can banish any number of dragon monsters that are level 7 or higher and or wind from your graveyard to add a dragon monster from your deck to your hand with a level equal to the number banished except for a copy of Drill Armed Dragon. So, I guess this is helpful for triggering the Armed Dragon Thunders, because I think those ones need to be on the field to activate their effect, which send a card from hand to graveyard, and a lot of them trigger when sent to the graveyard for a Dragon Monster's effect. This one just operates in the hand, so this can jumpstart you, and I think that's the biggest draw for this, is just that it's a starter card. It minus twos you to do it, but hey, sometimes you just got to get your plays started, and a 300 attack bonus for a bit ain't too shabby. There has to be a ton of use cases for this, though. Banish any number of dragons that are level 7 and or wind. So you can banish all of your Armed Dragon Thunders that you've tossed into the graveyard. This one can't activate in the graveyard, though, right? Banishing a dragon that are level 7 from your graveyard. Yeah, it doesn't say including this card, so this has to be on the field to use this, right? Dragon from your deck. That's a little less good. I don't want to be keeping this on the field. I want to be pitching this. I would like to see a double check on this translation later on, because if this can activate in the graveyard, I'm gonna read one more time. I've messed this up beforehand. You can banish any number of dragon monsters level 7 or higher wind from your graveyard. Add a dragon from your deck to your hand. Yeah, no, it's just it has to be on the field to activate this. That's kind of rough. I was kind of hoping this would be like a starting point, and that would go towards the levels of them. If you want to get one of the big ones, you have to pay out a lot, but I don't think you would want to, because you want to be summoning them out of the deck. You want to be banishing just a couple of dragons to get you more stuff, especially if you banish Tempest, because that'll get you any winded dragon on top of that. So I think that's where the big synergy for that comes from. I'm interested to see where this goes. I don't know if either of these are going to really get their respective archetypes into a competitive position. Drill Armed Dragon seems useful, but not overall powerful. I think any Water Dragon nonsense has its work cut out for it. Holy cow. I think Voltic Thunder here is going to go brazy. Yeah. If you have an empty board, your opponent has anything. Well, if they have one card, this doesn't trigger. But otherwise, you get to blast all of their... Like, it doesn't matter if it destroys all of your own cards if you don't have any cards. And then you get to swap this out for your best elemental hero in the graveyard as long as a normal monster was involved. And you're doing that half the time because you want to have a normal monster for the signature attack, Flame Wingman. So, yeah, this is definitely the front runner in all of this. Holy cow. I wonder if the selection pack will focus exclusively on these archetypes, or if we're just going to see some additional bonus cards for members of the different houses. Because obviously this is a Jaden card, so this is Osiris Red. This is Bastion, so this is Raw Yellow, and this was Chas, so this is Obelisk Blue. I know we saw some other cards out of this pack, or I feel like we did, but I forget exactly what they were. So hopefully we get to see a wide variety of support instead of just drilling in to just these ones. And I look forward to having to talk about more hero cards the next time I do a release roundup, which you should be checking out. We've got part 1 of the Alliance Insight 1 up on the channel right now, and part 2 is coming soon. And I suppose that's kind of all of the shilling that I've got for you right now. So what do you want to see in the rest of these packs? I don't have any particular GX characters so far. I'm glad they've avoided any Ojama support, so as long as we don't get that, I think this is going to knock it out of the park. And what decks would you play Drawbread in? What would synergize the best? What would be the funniest deck to pull the Golden Egg Witch in? Let me know. I wanna hear your funniest ideas. And until the next time, Konami drops some juicy spoilers. I will see all of you next time. Bye-bye. Today's episode is brought to you by Dragon Shield. Get the sleeves as strong as dragon scales that even come with their own lore and save 5% on your order by using the coupon code GoldenNova at checkout. It was also brought to you by my lovely patrons, including this month's illustrious Quasar Commanders, Upstairs Media and Chibi Gohan, Nebula Navigators, 3rd Dynasty, 50 Gigabytes, Ada Basilisk, Adam Zajdel, Ancient Wizard, Andrew Newman, Battle Axe, Kane Senpai, Charlie Mercury, Christopher Fuss, Clockswork, Comrade Copperbottom, Dr. Reaper, Eric, Frankie, Garland Chaos, Green Knight, Great Big Pillock, Groog, Hairbear, Harry the Ominous Benefactor, Iron Zero, Iskander 711, Carp, Marion James E. Picata, Meme King, Millennia Asta, Muse Clark, Neon Yami Nair, Orozco 09096, Panther J, Batpoos, Rebel King Lucifer, Red Eyes Jackalow, RJ the Jank Monarch, Sonic 21 Blast, The Critic of Innocence, Thievery Coast and the Wizard Moose, Cosmic Crusaders Ally Vatnia, Animasta, Anthrak, A Random Pup, Baron Von Titty Sprinkles, Beluga Master, Blaze Rider, Blitzwolf, Chaz Ghost, Chibi Gohan, again, Christopher Fuss, again, Chris B, Cool Trainer Dark, Dr. Entity RIP, kind of again, what are you maniacs doing here? Eki Bullock, Eva Padilla, Herbal D, Inblink, Kale the Dragon, Lobomaru, Manga Pages, Martin Moore 2468, Natiel Lee Alexander, Nitromo, Not Al Gore, Nyx, Obsidian, Pombo, Rhyme Kairos, Shwenny, Shizuki Nijimura, Simic Toadstool, Sir Knight JCB, Sphilia, Stephen Williamson, The Legendary Raven, The Phantom Knights of Shitted Pants, The Queen of Time, The Gene, Tiger X2476, Tristan O'Meara, and Zaldreka, as well as the wonderful Starlight Explorers you see on screen now. If you'd like to help me in my journey to cover all of Yu-Gi-Oh's archetypes, get my videos early, be a part of these credits and other awesome perks, it would mean the world to me if you would check out the link to my Patreon in the description or consider joining as a YouTube member.